Well, the insider trading crackdown continues. Jurors in Manhattan are deliberating at the insider trading trial of Zvi Goffer. He's the accused ringleader of an insider trading network that used prepaid cell phones and a fake paper trail to conceal trades. If you remember, Goffer used to work for Raj Rajaratnam, who faces up to 20 years in prison on insider trading charges. We're joined now by Seth Berenzweig. He's a partner at Berenzweig Leonard, who specializes in company and executive compliance issues. He's a frequent guest here on InBusiness and our sort of Raj expert, as it were. Seth, tell me, do you expect the jury to come back with a guilty verdict for Zvi?
Well, you know, it's hard to read the tea leaves on this one, but I will go out on a limb and I will predict that we will have a conviction here. We're going to have a result that will be very similar to the trial that we chatted about not long ago in the Raj Rajaratnam trial. The evidence in this is as convincing and as compelling. It just follows through just like a Hollywood script, just like the old trial. You've got disposable cell phones and backroom deals and secret bribes with lawyers. It just has all of the dramatic elements. The evidence is compelling. The prosecution's put on a tight case. I predict the jury will be deliberating for about 2 weeks, and I believe that there will be a conviction here.
Well, as you say, wiretaps are being used in this trial for Zvi, but Zvi Goffer's lawyer says that the government is twisting comments made in conversations on the phone to his brother, to other people. I mean, the use of wiretaps alone, how much do they actually further the case, and how much wiggle room is there to say you're misinterpreting the comments?
Not much, and that's really one of the difficulties. You know, in a bygone era, when you just had one person's word against another and you didn't have all this high-tech surveillance going on, you were operating in a different world. In today's world, this is a new era of compliance and enforcement on Wall Street. We saw it starting in the Raj Rajaratnam trial and the Zvi Goffer trial, and these are the first chapters in a new era of compliance and enforcement on Wall Street. It will be very difficult for the defense to win this case, and these will be techniques that are going to be living with us now for the near future. Companies have to be aware that there are going to be high-tech wiretaps. There are going to be a new wave of grand jury subpoenas. There'll be investigations and visits by the FBI. People have to understand that this is coming down the pike. So it really is a new environment that we really need to be aware of.
Now, we had the head of the SEC New York office on this show very recently, who said, yes, there were use of wiretaps here, but he thinks that we're making too big of a deal in saying that it is absolutely changing the face of compliance on Wall Street, because there is still such a high burden of proof required before the government can even use wiretaps here.
Well, that's a creative argument. I understand. There's the Wiretap Act, and there are limits where you have to get permission to do a wiretap, and you have to have probable cause, and then you have to have the wiretap go no broader than necessary. That'll be an appeal, by the way, in the Raj case, so stay tuned on that appeal. That case is not exactly over. But I understand that point. I respectfully disagree with it. The bottom line is that this is a huge new tool, and when you have a conviction on all 14 counts in the Raj Rajaratnam trial and a likely conviction in the Zvi Goffer trial, you're looking at a new era on Wall Street. And one of the main differences here is the new era of compliance and enforcement activity. Wiretaps used to just be used in the non-white collar world, and now they're no longer being used in the drug community or in organized crime. They're going to be used on Wall Street. You'll see increased wiretaps, increased subpoenas, increased visits by the FBI. So it really does make a very big and dramatic impact.
All right, Seth, thank you so much for giving us your perspective, and we'll be monitoring to see just what happens when the jury does return.